at Circus. You've heard of Piccadilly Circus. And this is the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus.
Hi guys, so welcome back to Jungle Princess 123. I have not uploaded in about a month, and that's because I've been pretty busy in these last few weeks. And this week, in terms of films I've watched, I watched Paris, Texas with my parents on Wednesday evening with Harry Dean Stanton. And I watched Cool Runnings on Sunday night, and I watched a Disney film called The Mighty Ducks last week. But that has actually got nothing to do with this video. That's just a little preview about what I've been watching this week, and that I've been busy. So, when I was surfing on YouTube, I saw the premiere for the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus, and it's going to be on a YouTube premiere, like with Yellow Submarine. However, I'm not watching this premiere because I saw it actually a few weeks ago, and I thought, I'm just going to be honest, I thought that it was alright, but in this video I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what happens and who the acts were and like what goes on. So, if you're watching this video now, and if you want to watch the circus, I would recommend going on to ABCKO Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus, and it should say premiere. And I would set your reminder for that for when it starts, because it starts at about 8 o'clock tonight. And if you watch it and enjoy it, great. And you could come back and maybe write in the comment section tomorrow or maybe later tonight on one of my video and say what you liked, who your favourite act was, and what you thought of it. So let's get started. So first of all, my outfit was kind of inspired by the colours of the show. And it was released on, the show was made, it was kind of like a concert video, like a concert film, but it was done in the style of like a circus format, which I think was really, really good how it was all formatted. And I thought with the circus theme, it was very consistent throughout the performances. So the beginning opens up with the Rolling Stones, The Who, Marianne Faithfull, John Lennon, Yoko Ono, and Eric Clapton, and they all come out in like a circus style kind of form, and there are a few acts and jugglers that kind of come out as well and before they come on, and the way it is presented is really well done, like something you'd probably expect of a circus act. So to give a little bit of backstory, I think this was released, it was released actually I think in the 1990s, but it was made, I want to say in about 1968, I think it was, towards near Christmas time. And it was directed by Michael Lindsay Hogg, who is a very famous TV director. I feel like he's done some other stuff, but I think he is a TV director. So they all come out really well presented, and Mick Jagger kind of opens it up. Well, he's dressed like a ringmaster, and the other members of this performance are like dressed up as like in just not eccentric clothes, but like something you would probably see at a circus, yet something maybe like a singer would wear, and to fit the kind of the 60s. I mean, obviously this was filmed in the 60s, but like what they normally wear, but like to kind of match the theme of the circus, is what I would say. So, Mick Jagger first presents the opening act, the first act of the show, which is a band called Jethro Tull. So that was the first act of the show, as I just said, and I thought the energy in the performance was really good. The flute playing really good. I think it was a flute he was playing, and the song was called "Song for Jeffrey." However, I'm just going to say it, I thought the performance, this first act of Jethro Tull, was alright. It wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, but I think it was a very interesting performance, and I thought it was very well put together, I would say. So that was the first act, and it probably wasn't my favourite of the performances, but they did like a really good job of the...
And now, ladies and gentlemen, dig The Who.
So the second act was The Who, and The Who is probably, I would say, one of the best groups there in my opinion. and they performed the song A Quick One While He's Away, and they did a fantastic job. Just the energy in the performance was absolutely amazing, and you could tell that I think the Who seemed to be really enjoying it. The energy from Keith Moon on the drum was absolutely fantastic, and just the playing as well, really in time, really pitchy, really in beats. It was absolutely fantastic. Was there what they did? I think the interactions were very good during the performance of the Who, and I would probably consider them to be one of my favourite acts of the performance, and they did a really good job. So then, after the Who, I can't remember exactly, but I think there was like a little intermission scene with two acrobats. And kind of like, as I said, as it was very consistent with the circus format, throughout the entire show, in parts there were like different acrobats and fire eaters, which I thought was a really nice touch for the performance. So the first one was two acrobats, first kind of circus act, and they did a really, I mean, just the thing acrobats do in general is absolutely amazing, and they did a really, it's amazing what they do. Like, they were using the trapezes, and I think it was absolutely fantastic. And then, I'm just trying to remember who comes on, but I think Marianne Faithfull comes next, and she was absolutely fantastic in her performance. She sang a song called Something Better, which was really nicely done, and she seemed to, when she was singing, she seemed to be really enjoying it, and just was very in time with the performance. And yeah, and just like her interaction with like her smiling, I thought was very good. And yeah, so I thought she was very good in the performance. And then after Marianne Faithfull, there was another circus intermission act called Danny Kamara, and Danny Kamara, who was a fire eater, assisted by Donielle Luna, who was referenced in this performance as the lovely Luna, who was a supermodel from the 1960s. So they had a little act, and it was absolutely fantastic. She kind of just stayed behind him, and he was a fire eater, and he was fantastic. So, however, moving on, and I think the act then after Luna and the fire eater was Taj Mahal, I hope I pronounce it right. And like Jethro Tull, they weren't one of my favourites, I'm just going to be honest. But like Jethro Tull and The Who, I thought the energy into the lead singer was absolutely fantastic, and from the other members. The song had a really good like speed and pitch, and it was a very fast kind of song, and they seemed to be really enjoying it when they were playing it. However, as I said, personally it's not my cup of tea, but if you watch this, you might think it's absolutely fantastic, and that's absolutely fine. So then after Taj Mahal is the Dirty Mac, and they're presented by John Lennon and Mick Jagger, who are like set behind stage and speaking in American accents, I think. And that was a really funny scene, and I thought the interaction between the two was really nice. The act itself was probably my favourite out of the entire show. So the Dirty Mac was like a one-off kind of group with Keith Richards, Mitch Mitchell, John Lennon, and Eric Clapton, and they did a cover of the Beatles' Yeah Blues, and it was absolutely fantastic, and just like the movement and interaction throughout the whole songs, and like the vocals were absolutely fantastic, really well done. And then they were probably my favourite, because I think they were really good together, and like just the playing of the instruments was really in time. And then next was Yoko Ono with the Dirty Mac, and the song was called Whole Lotta Yoko. And I've got nothing against Yoko Ono, I'm just going to say this right now. But throughout pretty much the song, she kind of was screaming quite a bit, which if you are aware of who Yoko Ono is, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but throughout most of her songs it's screaming. And so yeah, the performances were really well done, and then John Lennon then presented the Rolling Stones, who out of all the performances had the most songs. I hope I've mentioned everybody who was doing all the performances. But yeah, the Rolling Stones, like, who kind of took over the show from like about, I want to say around 40 minutes into the performances. They had the most songs out of the whole entire performances. They had the most songs. And I believe they did Jumping Jack Flash, which was one they definitely performed. But this Jumping Jack Flash, because it was live, I mean, I'm sure it's no different to if they actually played it live, but it was a lot more slower and not as fast as like the original version, I would say. Sympathy for the Devil was also on there, and also was You Can't Always Get What You Want was on there as well, and yeah, a few other songs I think were there, but they, at the end of the performance, the whole entire show, they performed Salt of the Earth whilst they were all sitting in the audience, which I thought was a really nice touch towards the end of the performance. They all did a fantastic job. So overall, the performance is about an hour and 5 minutes long. And I liked all of them. I'm going to say that right now. I liked all of them, even if I didn't think their songs, well, personally, their songs weren't my cup of tea. It doesn't mean to say that I didn't like them, because I really admired the qualities of how each of the different acts performed and how it was all formatted. The colours were absolutely fantastic, and I think it was directed really well. The Stones' presence is absolutely fantastic, as well as the other acts. The energy into all the singers is absolutely impeccable. The consistency throughout the performance is absolutely great. And just like the work that was put into it, like, you just know, like, that even if you could just tell that it was something that they really worked hard on and they seemed to enjoy doing. So that's that's the whole aspect of it, really. I hope I've said all the acts as well. And so yeah, that's pretty much most of the performance. So I'm gonna go over some things now that I think I probably would have liked. So out of the people who open the acts, it's mainly the Rolling Stones who open each of the acts, but John Lennon presents the Rolling Stones, and he presented the Dirty Mac with Mick Jagger, which I've mentioned before. But Mick Jagger opens the first act, Jethro Tull, Keith Richards opens for The Who, and Charlie Watts opens for Marianne Faithfull. So, but what I would have liked is maybe if Brian Jones or Bill Wyman got the chance to open one of the acts. I think that would have been really nice to see. I think the performance, I don't know what it is, but I kind of would like it to have been adapted a little bit further for some reason. I think I would have just maybe liked to have seen it take a little bit of a story, maybe. I mean, I know this wasn't necessarily meant to be a feature film or anything, but I think I just kind of would have liked that, because the Stones never really had a feature film, but they had Sympathy for the Devil, which kind of showed them how they were by Jean-Luc Godard, which showed how they were making the song. So I think that's all pretty much covered. So in overall, I liked it. I thought it was really set out well, really well done, and I hope you guys are having a good day. And if you want to watch this, it is on about 8 o'clock tonight. Go onto YouTube, and the premiere is by ABCKO Records. And I hope you guys, if you watch it, enjoy it, and I'd recommend it. I'm just going to say, if you haven't seen this, I'd recommend it because, give it a go and then see what you think. So, hope you're all having a great day. See you later.